Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. This is video 2 regarding agave spirits. So, for all of you bartenders around the world that are in quarantine, I hope this video is useful. I will post some pictures on my Instagram and also on my Facebook, just so you know certain things that I'm talking about. So, in the previous video, I was talking about the usage of agave in the pre-Hispanic cultures. And again, the beauty of the rich sources and how it was fully used it was fully used by the indigenous groups in America. It was used as a sugar source. It was used as a replacement for mother's milk. It was used as needle and thread. It was used also for fibers and to make clothing. It was used to make rooftops, and it was also used in Mexico. We have something that's called barbacoa, right, which is the roast pit. It's inside, and what we do is that we use the pencas and we fold in whatever we want to cook, and then we put it inside, and it has a wonderful flavor. If any of you are able to go to Oaxaca or to other places like Estado de Mexico to have an awesome barbacoa after this quarantine, I strongly suggest that you go and visit Mexico and have a really good barbacoa, but you have to make sure it's made in a roasted and that the mutton is covered in the pencas or the agave leaves. So in pre-Hispanic times, agave, of course, it was not called agave. This name was given by von Linneo, that was studying the plant. In pre-Hispanic times, it had a lot of different names. One of them was metal. Metal was the name of the plant. Mezcal or mezcali means cooked agave. Okay? This is really important because also for scientific reasons, sometimes it's really hard to pinpoint certain varietals of agave because they're all called mezcal or they are all called metal, and they have different names coming from region to region, and I will explain that later on when we're talking about agave species. So a thing about agave is that it is a succulent plant and it is a suicidal plant. What do these two things mean? First of all, the fact that it's a succulent. So I'm hoping a lot of you have seen a picture of an agave plant, and the way it is, it has this shape, which is like an inverted cone, right? Which means that when it rains, it captures all the water in its heart. It's ingenious, you know, nature is ingenious, and this is the perfect way of capturing water. Because it's a semi-desertic plant, this is really important for its survival, which means it gathers as much water as it can in its heart. And this is really important because, again, some varietals of agave, when you cut the pencas and you rasp it, you have aguamiel. And this is a full food source, but it's also a way to hydrate yourself. So because it's a semi-desertic plant and it is in a lot of desertic areas, this was one of the sources of water for those people. And again, it's only 5 varietals of agave that can do this. One of them is the angustifolia, the other one is the salmiana. I believe one of them is also the americana, and I do not remember the other two, but I promise I'll look it up and I will post it on my Facebook. So when I talk about agave being a suicidal plant, and this picture will be in my Instagram and Facebook, You have the agave, and then you have the stem that grows. This stem will eventually flower, it will bloom, and then the agave plant will die. That's why it's a suicidal plant. And in my way of seeing it, it's this wonderful way of being such a motherly plant. For me, agave is such a motherly plant in the sense that it gives you sugars, it gives you nutrients. Actually, in Mexico now they're doing some probiotics that are amazing with agave plants, and it has everything that you need in order to survive. So, when the stem grows, it draws all the water from the heart. Depending on the varietal of agave, is how long it will take to grow a stem. And this is really important because when we talk about aging of agave spirits, in some cases we do not talk about aging in a barrel, but aging on earth. So most of the agave plants, or some of the most common agave plants that are being used in the industry, they take at least 6 years to be mature, 8 years to be mature. In some cases, and these are the really bold flavored agaves, and I will talk about those when we talk about agave species. They take 13 to 14 years. Some can take up to 30 to 40 years, and some even longer, right? So the complexity of the flavors come from the story that that plant tells you. And that's a wonderful thing because in every single drop of distilled spirit of agave, you can know the story of that land. So I'm going to leave it here and I will post the next video soon. See you soon.